Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. Welcome to the Nateland podcast. I'm Nate Bargatze, Brian Bates, Aaron Weber, Ola, Dusty Slay, the cowboy.
All right.
It's kind of he's got a, if you listen, he's got a cowboy shirt on. Got a little, I feel like a New Mexico or,
Yeah, I might have got this in Texas.
Yeah. Well, I said New Mexico.
Yeah.
And I think it's got, or Mexico,
Close.
like a little more Mexico. I think it's got a Mexico vibe. Got a cactus.
Yeah.
Little Mexico country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. You know, if you go down to San Antonio, it's the Mexican guys keeping the cowboy look alive.
Yeah, that's what the shirt, I think it feels, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever wear a bolo tie?
I've never owned one. I mean, I'm not against it. I like it, but I never can make myself wear this shirt out in the world.
Yeah.
But you are today.
Yeah. This is a real coming out for me with the cowboy
I don't
shirts.
have the brought to you, bud.
Oh, well, it's brought. This week's podcast is brought to you by Babbel, VPN.
ExpressVPN.
ExpressVPN.
And Athletic Greens,
And
AG1.
Athletic Greens.
All right.
My favorite.
There we go. Yeah, it's a good shirt. It's a lot.
Yeah, it feels good. Look at even the cuffs. You got some kind of greenery there.
Yeah, they put stuff where they could put stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever worn that on stage?
I never have.
Because in Huntsville, you had kind of a Western shirt.
Yeah, I bought two of them. I wore the other one. It's a little more plain. And I wore it for an hour on stage, and it made me very uncomfortable, and I never wore it again.
Yeah.
All right.
But this may be some Grand Ole Opry type shirts. You know, come on out with
I
that.
can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like one of the Opry Square dancers.
Yeah, I told him at the Opry that one day I want him to bring me out and I'll just come out and start singing and see how long it takes the audience to know that I'm not a singer. and the guy goes, it happens all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I guess people will sing at the Opry not very good sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I would think they would think, because you're like, Leslie Jordan was like funny. And
Oh, yeah.
so it's like they might think you're that.
Yeah, that could be it. I'd go for that.
The new Leslie Jordan.
Yeah.
Dusty Slay.
Yeah. I could go for that.
He's
That's
very
fun.
joyful.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
was.
joyful, but
Yeah.
it's a different vibe.
It's a much different vibe.
It's a much different
yeah.
vibe.
I could see Leslie Jordan saying we're having a good time.
Leslie
Yeah.
Jordan's never been banned from a Joann's fabric.
Well, that's true. I don't know that that's true, but
Well,
I bet he has.
We know somebody here has been.
I don't know if I'm banned, but they don't want me in there. I'll tell you that.
They see that shirt. They're like, well, look what you did last time you were here. And you put it together. So we're here. I'm home. I had great shows this weekend. And then I leave today to go. Tomorrow I'm going to L.A. do Adam Carolla's podcast, When He Comes podcast. And then James Corden with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. So it'll be fun.
Are you going to be sitting on the couch with her, do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Isn't that how he does it?
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes they leave,
Oh.
right?
Oh,
Am I
she might
crazy?
leave.
Or sometimes, are you going, she's probably first, no offense.
Yeah, Aaron.
Sometimes they leave right after.
Yeah.
you know? That'd be cool if she stuck around.
Oh, I've always saw him with just two guests, but I don't watch James Corden much.
I thought it was all shows. Anyway, that'll be cool.
No,
Yeah.
his is usually
is
they stay
different.
together.
Yeah, I think his is a little different. I think they talk. I think it's both guests like kind of stay on there together, and he kind of talks to both.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
I watched it this week in my hotel room. It was David Bautista and female comedian. I can't think of her name right now, but they just take turns.
Oh, and yeah,
He'll ask her a question, then ask him a question, and then they interact together.
yeah.
You tell her how you watched Halloween in a drive-in theater.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll tell that story. I got to find because I was like, I need to find a picture of that guy because I had a big thing of popcorn.
Yeah.
And like, he was going to come be like, here's my popcorn I got. And they're like, well, we got Jamie Lee Curtis here, so we'll probably keep the camera on her a little bit. And you go, oh, all right. So I guess you don't want to do the popcorn thing. All right. Yeah, it'll be very fun. And then I could fly home and go to career day.
Have you done career day before?
I did it last year.
How did it go? Do you do okay?
Yeah, I don't know. You talk to the kids, they ask questions. last year, it's all about what you're going to give these kids. It's about you got to give them something.
Oh, you bring in something to give.
You
to
bring
the
in
class.
something.
Okay.
We got some good stuff. We got some hats.
Oh,
this one we're giving hats away, which I think it's gonna go over good. Last year I did meet and greet passes, like that we signed. Yeah,
Were they how to use?
Yeah, I had a lot more meet and greets this year than normal. I was like, these kids were selling them on eBay, and but I was like doing it, and then I told. I brought a marker. I was like, I'll sign it. I mean, I'm trying. I don't know what to get. Like, I don't know what to tell them, what to give them. And so. I was like, let's just get a box of meet and greet passes. I'll just sign them. So I was just signing them. And then Harper comes through and Harper goes, he'll sign your name. Just tell him your name and he'll sign it. And I'm like, Harper, don't. And then, it is every kid telling me their name. And some names are so long and I don't know how to. So then, it becomes, we're barely going to, it's almost over career day.
Yeah.
And I'm just having to be like, what's your name? And then Harper's just like, come on over. Like he'll do it. And so I'm just having to sign all these crazy names.
So you won't be signing the hats, I guess.
I'll sign the hats. I already told Harper, I go, let's not go with the names. Yeah. I was like, I think that it kind of slows everything down a little bit. If they want to sign the hat, I'll sign the hat. But these kids don't care.
Is it the same kids as last year?
Probably, yeah.
You should require them to have a meet and greet pass to see you this year.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
good.
go bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Are you competing against other parents in this? Is there like a dental hygienist trying to talk right after you?
Yeah, last year I was set with a surgeon. And he brought like a skeleton. So, yeah, I was next to him.
And no matter how cool your job is, if somebody brings a skeleton in, it's tough to compete.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, it's like I don't know what to give them. It's like it's all about, it is tough. I'm telling a joke about it on stage now because it's just a different thing. But it's it's fun though. It's like I missed so much stuff. Like, cause I was going to have to miss this one, but I just missed too much stuff. And so I was like, I got to get home for this. So it's just going to be a long 24 hours.
It'll be fun though.
But it'll be fun. Come rolling in, tell them on no sleep.
Yeah, tell them that.
Yeah, tell them that. Because, guys, you don't know how tired I am right now.
You don't know how lucky you are to have me here.
I'll tell you what, guys, I'm drunk. Tell the kids. He goes, how do you get through it? You go, you drink. No, I don't drink. But it would be funny if a dad came in a little.
Oh, yeah.
I bet it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Too.
Yeah.
I bet you get some schools a little, the ones that are closed for when you're like, why are we closed today? There's no snow. There's always like
The threat.
the people, because there's people that live on some back roads, and those are the ones why you close school. It's usually for just the percentage of people, So I bet there's some dads up there that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get some, like I went to Robinson County, Coopertown Elementary for a little bit, and that's like, it's more farm. And so like, the career day is like, these kids are just seeing, their career day is the job that they have currently in elementary school. It's like, what do you do? Oh, well, we go, the kids in elementary school can do the career day.
Yeah.
Because they go work the farms they're in elementary school.
Yeah, Leanne Morgan, who also grew up in Robertson County, said that that's a big tobacco county, and the high school boys would be out for weeks when tobacco season was going on because they got to do it.
Yeah, my dad, when he was teaching there, I was in elementary school there, but career day would be
The kids talking about what jobs they have.
yeah, just the high school kids.
Yeah.
like a kid 2 grades above them, just going, "What do you do?" He goes, "Well, when I'm gone most of the year, So yeah. So that's what I got going on. Where were y'all at?
I was in Raleigh at Good Nights Comedy Club Friday and Saturday. Sold out both shows.
All right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, saw our buddy John Thornton Jr.
Yeah.
Hung out with
That's
him.
fun.
And Thursday night, I was in Maryville, Tennessee, doing a show for True Purpose Ministries. It was at a church there, and it's a addiction recovery center. And they had a singer right before me. I had a follow singer. I'm like, all right, I can handle this guy. This guy was also a preacher, so in between every song, he'd be really putting in some testimony and stuff. I'm like, this is getting tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
People are getting into it. And at the end, his last song, he said, let's just get everybody up here who's went through the recovery program, who's now clean. And we're going to sing "Oh Victory in Jesus." And he gets everybody up there. They're clapping. Everyone's standing. They're singing. People are crying. They got babies up there. And I got to follow this guy.
Wow.
It did not go well. No,
Yeah.
I did fine, but it's a tough follow.
Is it, how much of a break did you have between, were they all back in their seats before you went back on?
They were. Now, the director.
Still crying though.
Yeah. I slip on a tear up there on stage.
Yeah.
The director of the program.
Did you walk through the crowd as they walked back to their seats? Yeah, you go,
I have to elbow a baby out of
you
the
go,
way.
Excuse me, I'm next. So if you guys don't mind.
It was pretty quick. The director of the program gets up there. It was a good little buffer. But, he's got a powerful story, too. He's an addict that's recovered. And now all these people are, and then they show a little video. And it's pretty powerful. And then I get up there and, boy, marriage is hard, isn't it?
Hello, folks.
Yeah.
Think addiction's bad. Try marriage.
Yeah.
How many people you think got started back up after you?
A few people fell off the wagon.
A few people just, I gotta go to a bar.
I set some people back. But now I met the mayor of Dusty Town.
All right.
Was the crowd? Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. Was the crowd that went on stage, was it so much of the crowd that you almost could have been like, well, y'all just stay up there and I'll stay down here?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier.
I'll just do the show from the seats.
Logistics wise, you're already there. Let's just do it. I've done a show where there wasn't enough people that they just set the crowd on the stage. It was like it was like almost like in too big of an auditorium.
Yeah.
That they're like, well, we're just do it on, like that's their backup plan, is just to set it on the stage and then you do a show.
Everybody just
Yeah. Because there's not enough people. It's a 2,000 seat place. And so they're just like, well, we're just sit seats up here and do it on the stage.
Yeah.
You could do something like that.
I should have done that probably then.
I feel like there was a show. I'm trying to think if there was a show where it was the audience. Yeah, it was something like, it was like when we brought the audience on, just brought them on the stage. There just wasn't enough people.
It would be fun on a show like that, to be like, it is nice to be recovered. I'm just kidding. I never did drugs. I was smart enough not to do them.
Yeah, to go up there and
Well, my closing joke is usually about a fake testimony that I give. And the whole joke was basically what they were sharing. So I had to do some editing in my head real fast.
Find a new closer
and then
on the fly.
And then the closer I switched to about canceling my newspaper subscription. Also, I say I'm going to prison, which all these people just shared. So I'm like, all right, I'm already in this one.
Well, when people have so many problems, you're like, you can't avoid all the jokes.
I think, they're not going to be sensitive about it.
No,
that's the people that's the least sensitive about it.
Yeah.
They like it.
Yeah, they were great about it. So,
I think once you've been to prison, words don't hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I wonder if they go, they watch the show, I wonder if they ask, they were like, because these people are always all pretty fun people, so they just brought the opposite to do the show. They go, who's been walking the line, never veered off? They go, we got him. We got the guy. We got the guy. It's too much if it was also, you were, like Dustin Chafin does those, and I did one. For an NA narcotic anonymous group, but I tell you, they heckled me. It was rough.
Really?
Yeah, it was in a gym. Yeah, I think we talked about it with Dustin on, but it was in a gym, and I was in New York, and we go, and so Dustin, I was just going to open for Dustin, and Dustin had stuff for this because he was in this, and so he knows how to deal with it and talk to him, whatever. And I remember I went up and they had it was gym lights. So then they cut the lights off in the gym. Well, it gets too dark. So they're like, we need to cut the lights back on because you can't even see the stage now. So they're trying to find the square to cut on. So at least there's some light on the stage. So, when you cut on gym lights, it's it takes a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So then they're like, we got to start the show. We start showing. The lights aren't even going yet. So I'm just in the dark. And then I start. And it went so bad at one point, I think I said, well, I thought you people were supposed to be nice. and then it was, it was not good. And then Dustin murdered. But I had a rough go.
those lights were still warming up.
They weren't there. They weren't there.
I saw you. You went to the tallest, or what is it? The biggest little skyscraper.
Yeah, in Wichita Falls, Texas.
And it brought joy in my heart that because of this podcast, maybe you were like the tour guide and knew everything that was going on.
I did know. We asked a lady there. They have a shop there now, but we asked a lady there about it, and she told us, you know, even more. But it was, I did say this. I was crazy. There's been a few things I've explained where I'm like, oh, I've learned this from the podcast. And I don't even remember these podcasts, but they somehow, they sit in your brain. You end up just kind of saying something about something dumb. And then you're like, I don't know how I know this.
Yeah.
Like by osmosis is what they say, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it just sits there.
Yeah.
And it pops out. That place it's crazy. It's very small. I mean, it's so small, they have a building. At one point, we've started running on the road, really giving it a go. Love running. I've learned, I think I always liked running, and I just never was too lazy to do it.
More than hiking?
No, I like hiking. Yeah. I like hiking but I think hiking for, you know, you're out in nature and all that. But like running is like, man, it's just really helped with me being super busy and being a lot of stuff's very overwhelming. And it's like just the schedule gets overwhelming. And it's, you know what, this is everything I've wanted. So you don't want to feel sorry. But it's like, it's helped when I run. It's like, you just feel like you just get, it's just like going away. It's like almost like meditation. You know, you just kind of like zone out. You're in your own little thing and you just can focus.
Did you ever see the movie What Women Want with Mel Gibson? Mm-hmm. You remember he's in advertising and his campaign is for Nike Sports.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the campaign that he introduces to them. I think the line is no games, just sports. When you run, because you just tune everything else out.
It's the simplest form of doing exercise. Like I'm doing a thing to train for like a half marathon. And it's like you run 4 minutes, walk 1 minute or 2 minutes, you know, and you just do that back and forth. And eventually it gets like you do it very long. But I'm seeing these towns. I went running in every single city. Wichita Falls, Texas, we saw that. So not that I wouldn't, but I mean, I don't know if I would have saw that because you're just kind of like sitting around. So you go run, we go see littlest skyscraper, and we see another thing that we thought was it, and it wasn't it. That's how small that is there's just like side buildings that are bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then we went running in every city. Wichita Falls, Texas, I forget where else I was. Tupelo, we went running to Elvis's house. So we just ran to his house. And, you know, it's fun to have like an end goal. You're like, all right, well, we're just running, then we're just stop at Elvis's house. Mm-hmm. And then Baton Rouge, and I had to be somewhere else too that I'm blanking. But Baton Rouge, we went running along the Mississippi River and we didn't get all the way down there, but saw LSU Stadium, like kind of in the distance, and then ran back. Yeah. Like, it's just like, you're like, oh man. Cause I've gone to so many cities, and you just, even if you go walking, you just don't really, cause you're not walking 3 miles.
Yeah.
But when you do a little running, you're just like, you're just out and about.
Mm-hmm. That's how I always felt about biking. You know, biking, you can really see stuff, but walking so slow that it's like, you know, but running's hard for me.
Yeah. The word jogging's kind of left our vocabulary. Nobody uses that word anymore.
What's the word? Jogging. Running?
I think everyone just calls it running.
Yeah.
But back in my day, jogging was like a slow run, you know. Yeah.
And I'm jogging. My thing that beeps tells you to go, it tells you to jog. It says jog now. So it still uses it, but I know what you mean. You just say running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you know what? I mean, I want to take those electric bikes out. They're not even an ad today, but I want to take those on the road.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I took it on the road this weekend.
Yeah.
Folds in half. I put it in the back of my car and take it out anywhere. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Is because it's like, because if you go do the running, the jogging, you get the exercise over with, then you can actually have some fun and go actually just ride on that thing like a motorcycle.
You can take it around anywhere.
Yeah, it's fun.
Where were you?
I was in Asheville, North Carolina this weekend. 4 shows at the Wortham Center for Performing Arts. It was a lot of fun. 2 shows sold out, which is awesome.
All right.
And I had like a weird person at every show. So Asheville's a weird town, dude.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's like Austin says keep Austin weird, but Asheville there's some odd people there. Nice people, but one show, I took a picture of it. A guy in the front just had a big shirt that just said "I pooped today," and he was just wearing that.
Was it a mirror? That feels like something a shirt you would have on. You wear Walmart slippers.
That's true. And then there's a girl at one show. This guy was hanging out with him.
Wow, look at that guy.
Yeah, he was into it. He was a fan. And then there's a girl, another show that was.
Was that guy a fan?
That guy had no clue who I was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he's not going to be watching this podcast?
He's just confident enough that he just wears that shirt.
He's going to comedy shows. They're going to be hilarious.
Going to a comedy show in that shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, if you wanted to discourage him not to wear it ever again, you did it when the headlining comic asked a picture with him.
Yeah.
There you go. And he's like, "Did the shirt work?" He goes, "Worked again.
It worked again.
It works every time."
I was the star of the show.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy's battled constipation in his past, and that guy's happy.
Well, we talked about it a little bit.
That guy's happy.
Yeah. He was proud of it. And there's another girl.
Did you go, "Did you?" And he goes, "No."
Not yet, actually.
Yeah, I'm open.
Yeah. There's a girl in the front who had been drinking, and the whole show, instead of laughing, she was just like snapping a little bit, but not really snapping, just like rubbing her fingers together. Yeah. She's doing that the whole show.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then at the end of the show, I said, "Hey, thanks for everyone for being here. I'm going into my spiel." And she just goes, "This isn't court."
What?
She's so drunk.
Yeah.
She's like, "This isn't court."
Yeah.
And I go, "Did you think this was a courtroom?"
You're like, "No, ma'am, your court date's tomorrow."
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We don't know what it's going to be about, but it will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but dude, the shows were all great. Thanks for everybody that came out.
Asheville's a weird place. They got, some say their own dialect. So you might need Babbel to help you get through the next time you're in Asheville. Are you familiar with Babbel, Aaron?
I'm so familiar with them. Yeah.
Yeah. When do you go to South America?
I go in October, dude. I need to brush up on my Portuguese.
Babbel is the language learning app with more than 10 million subscribers. If you got a new travel experience coming up, Nate's getting ready to go to Europe, you're getting ready to go South America, Babbel is the way to go. It's fun, it's easy, bite-sized language lessons. You can feel confident no matter where the new year takes you. With Babbel, you only need 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real-life conversations in a new language. Little as 3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks, Dusty.
Wow.
Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans. Babbel uses 150 language experts, over 150. Their teaching methods have been scientifically proven to be effective. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, German, Portuguese. Many languages to learn, many ways to learn through Babbel. Right now, get up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/Nate. That's babbel.com/Nate for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel. Language for life.
Boom. Did Asheville, speaking of that, where I'm Joe Zimmerman special, doing it this weekend. Friday, I'll be directing in Asheville, the Gray Eagle.
Nice.
So make sure. I think the first show's sold out. Second show's probably close. So
awesome.
Come out to that.
So all that stuff we said about Asheville, not true.
Yeah.
great place.
Yeah. I didn't say.
I do like Asheville. It is weird though, but I do like it.
I wasn't making fun of that.
I know.
Okay.
You did, but the AI thing. Talk about the Babin that's not writing AI. Did we talk about we were doing they were doing it this weekend on the phone AI, like writing jokes. You know, people's voices, like Becky Owen's voice, and it was like, you think comics will, because you could write an hour, like our Eric barber trainer said it's he was like, they won't let you do an hour because it was like, it said something like, that's not, it's like, it's hard to do an hour, or it's not, you don't do an hour's with, like, it stopped it for some reason, like an ethical reason was like, it's not right to do this. Like the AI said that. But I mean, are comics going to be like, I need new material, and you just go, write me, 30 minutes in my own voice?
I bet they're doing it already. I bet open mic people are doing it already.
Are they good jokes?
They've never been good. The ones they sent to me have never been good.
Yeah, but it's like you just then go if you write a set, like if I need new material and I'm like, write me I tell AI to write me a joke about something, anything. And then I just start doing the joke. I mean, it's in my voice.
What I think it can be actually useful in is not something that broad, but you can go like, you ever like, I need an analogy for this. You can just write me 3 analogies comparing this to this, and it can churn them out for you. It can be helpful in that way. I don't know about write me a new hour in Nate Bargatze's voice. That's not going to be super
but if
helpful.
you write a joke, like, can you type in there?
Yeah.
Trying to do something I'm not talking about, like, write a joke about Asheville.
In your voice?
Yeah.
So we have, the prompt is write a stand-up comedy bit in the voice of Nate Bargatze about the city of Asheville,
Yeah.
North Carolina. Now, do you want to read it in your...
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Nate Bargatze here. So I recently went to Asheville, North Carolina, and let me tell you, that place is something else. First of all, I got to say, Asheville is like the Portland of the East Coast. They got all the hipsters and the craft breweries and the vegan restaurants. I mean, I saw more man buns in one day than I've seen in my entire life. The thing that really got me about Asheville is the art scene. They got all these galleries and studios, and I'm looking at some of this stuff, and I'm like, what is this? Is this art, or did someone spill paint on a canvas? I saw a painting of a dog that looked like it was done by a kindergartner, and people were raving about it. They were like, it's so raw and emotional. I'm like, it's a dog, man. It's not the Mona Lisa. Don't get me started on the street performers.
but
So it's basically that.
AI's been to Asheville, it sounds like.
Yeah, they wrote out a lot of stuff.
But this just feels like this is like an open mic comic has walked on the street and just looked at things. There's no real jokes here. It's just observations.
Right.
But I mean, if you could regenerate means it'll just give you another idea.
Yeah, or it'll just run it again with the same prompt.
Yeah.
And the outcome will be different. How's everybody doing tonight? Good to see you.
It's like a combination of a hippie commune and a retirement community. I mean, that's not terrible, especially so specifically for Asheville, if you're doing it. It's like built by the Biltmore huge mansion that was built by the Vanderbilt family. It's like a castle, but with air conditioning. So it's not, it's not great, but it's
No.
But I mean, someone that's like, it's just like, is it going to get where you just get all your stuff out of it?
It's going to ruin everything.
And then I don't think it'll ruin anything, because there's got to be a difference. I think an audience could tell a difference, between that versus.
You hope.
Now they can, but give it some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of be like Deep Blue. Remember when it played Gary Kasparov in chess, and the first time the world chess champion, he beat it pretty bad, but it kept getting better and better and learning more, and it finally was better than he was.
Yeah. But you're not going to have any personality in your thing. If it's writing in your voice.
Yeah.
But I guess you would have to have a voice. That's the thing. You have to have a voice. So whatever you're writing in, if you're trying to write a Johnny Cash song, well, you have to be like Johnny Cash. Like Johnny Cash can use that. But if you're just someone coming up, I mean, you're going to have to just copy people. And then I guess you could steal someone's like essence or whatever, what makes them.
I mean, Elon Musk has been saying for a long time that AI is going to take over everything. And we're going to not be able to keep up. That's why he wants that Neuralink, so that we can plug into our own brain to update ourselves so that we keep up with AI.
Yeah.
He's been saying that for way back, years ago.
So let me guess, you're on board with this?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, Elon Musk is involved with this company, OpenAI.
Yeah.
He's like a partial owner.
Well, he
of
wants
it.
to sell Neuralink, so he's like, let's get this going here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they going to plug in?
Well, I don't know. I always just think about the Matrix when they wake up from the pod and have to unplug the thing from their head.
It somehow connects your brain to the internet, and so you could Google something yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
ain't
what
gonna
I'm saying.
I don't know if we're gonna see that.
I
though.
hope not.
Like we are not gonna see this.
I think we're already there.
You're plugging, but not a person.
Somebody tweeted from their brain. Do you guys, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's been a tweet sent by.
I like that you took it to other people right away as if we had
Well,
not seen
you know,
Yeah, he didn't say in the group.
look at this. Actually, you know what the tweet was? Hello world.
Oh,
This
really?
happened. 62-year-old Philip O'Keefe from Australia suffers from ALS, and he used a device to tweet from his thoughts. And the tweet said, "No need for keystrokes or voices. I created this tweet just by thinking it. Hashtag hello world."
I still dedicated mine to Tiger.
Yeah.
Then,
I don't know. Thomas
No
may
one-
have something to say about it.
yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So we're already there. There's already the technology.
So that guy put that in there, and he just thought it. And
he
then
had
it
some
put,
kind of device where he just thought it, and then he was able to tweet
like
it.
a Bluetooth.
Bluetooth for your thoughts.
God, that,
kinda
how
like
does it even get? How does it even tell your thoughts?
I have no idea how it works.
I don't want that thing hooked up.
Yeah. Well, that's like, what if you were? You go, how'd you? They go, that's so insane.
You're
And
like,
you just
"Stop
walk around
thinking,
the
stop
corner and you
thinking."
just see someone on a computer. He's going, "Hello world," and he's,
Yeah.
it's just someone sending it.
So here's how it works. A node is implanted into the brain via the jugular vein in the neck, placed in the chest under the skin, avoiding the need for drilling into the skull or open brain surgery. It sits on the motor cortex, part of the brain in charge of voluntary physical movement, and picks up on brain signals. So the user can look at a screen with a keyboard and envision which letters they want to type. Through a device placed on the chest, a machine learning algorithm will then process the brain data and translate those signals into specific digital commands. So it'll just know what you're looking at on the screen. Yeah. Pretty scary.
All this technology, and he's on Twitter.
Yeah, first thing he does.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So get ready.
Where were you at?
Indianapolis, Helium.
Oh.
Great weekend.
The opposite of what we were just talking about.
Yeah. Is it?
No, I don't know. I'm just joking. It's just very funny to go from that to be like helium.
Yeah. It was
Helium's
great.
great.
Great shows.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Indianapolis in a long time. I used to go there like 3 times a year. It was
Yeah.
great to go back.
That was I like helium a lot. That y'all just missed each other.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
1 week.
Oh, that'd been cool.
It would have been fun.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, good.
Maybe for
Yeah,
Dusty, not
step
for
him
me.
up.
That's what I said. Yeah.
I even had a lot of people that would say, "I'm coming to Dusty's show." They post about it. I'm like, "Well, I'm there this weekend." They're like, "Yeah, I can't get a babysitter this weekend."
Yeah.
They like some people just say, "Just come with Dusty to his show."
Well, it would have been good though, like almost to like if you were up like in that other room, like,
Yeah.
and then it's like people could just go one show and the other show.
Some guy tweeted like something like, I missed Dusty's show when he was in my backyard, and now I'm seeing Nate 55 miles away. And I'm like, there's really no need to share that.
Yeah. That's how far back my seats are.
Yeah.
That's that person is 55 miles away.
So when you search for these stuff on online, do you use a fake account?
Oh, no, sometimes, look, the internet's a weird place. We've been talking about it a lot. We need to worry about anonymity. That's a big concern for me. It should be a big concern for you. And you might think, I use incognito mode on my browser. That's enough. Let me tell you, it is not. It does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browsing history. Your ISP, your internet service provider, can still see every single website you've ever visited. It's a scary thought. That's why even when I'm at home or traveling, I don't go online without using ExpressVPN. I've been using VPNs forever. It's you got to have it on. You got to have it running in the background if you're doing anything off the books. I don't know how else to describe it. If you don't, it's not even if you're doing anything illegal or weird. It's like, hey, I just don't want my information out there.
Yeah, just you
viewed
want some
and tracked
privacy.
by
You don't want
everybody.
to email.
Yeah.
Like you just don't want to get
gosh.
emailed all day. Like,
Exactly, because these ISPs can sell your information to ad companies. Not
Yeah.
only can they are, and they're ready for it. Take a stance against that. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. ExpressVPN is available on all your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV. There's no excuse not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by Business Insider. Visit my exclusive link, expressvpn.com/Nateland, and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/Nateland. expressvpn.com/Nateland to learn more.
You know, I'd like to say though, while I was in Indianapolis, I did the Bob and Tom show, and I've done that show a bunch of times, and I have struggled on that show.
Really?
This time,
Struggling in what way? Like to get a word in, or
well,
to,
they
like,
have a lot of people on the show. There's like 6 people in the room at all times or more, and can be hard. But I had the best time I had ever had there. And it was great. And I think this podcast has helped because we got 4 people in here. We're all, so I think I'm practiced now.
Yeah.
And it was good. And they were very nice to me. I think it helps that I've, been on Netflix and some late nights now. They like me. When I'd gone there before and had done nothing, they were like, who's this guy?
Yeah, they're great.
So they are great. It was really fun.
Bob and Tom was a big deal for when I was starting comedy. Or before I started comedy, I would listen to them every morning when I read water meters. And that's where Greg Warren and just a lot of comics I would hear on that. And it was like, I want to be these guys.
Yeah.
Like Mike Birbiglia was big on there. And so it was, Bob and Tom was a big deal for me. And it is great.
Is that a show where you would do bits? Or
Yeah.
is it okay?
Well, I just it was almost podcast style. I just sat in there. We told some jokes, but I was there for about 2 hours. And
cool.
it was just, it was a lot of fun.
You would do bits on that. And a lot of those guys used to do that back then. Now you can go on and you can just talk.
More conversational.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's great. All right, let's read some of your comments. Comments come from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast Reviews, and Nateland at natebargatze.com. Elizabeth A. Hello, folks. I know others have probably said this before, and thanks for all you do. Having the podcast really meant a lot this week, especially with the band back together. It helped me laugh and keep from crying after a really hard breakup. God bless. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're
back
not crying.
Get back on the horse.
Yeah. I am glad that she's not crying.
There you
I know
go.
you
Me
guys
too.
laughed like I said it in a way that I wish that she was crying.
She might be now. You got her started again.
Yeah.
Charity Hagen. Nate, the guy you talk about laughing in Phoenix, is my dad. His laugh is unforgettable. He's had a hard year this year, and your show really made his whole week. Thank you for being you. Well, that's awesome. I mean, he had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad you cut him out.
No, his laugh's in there. You hear it. We just
Dialed it down a little.
we took it out some other places,
Okay.
but yeah, he's in there. He's in there. That's awesome. He's got a great laugh.
Yeah.
It was just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing when it laughs like that. I've had people like that where they're laughing. It's like, I don't want to be like, hey, stop laughing. But I do want to be like, hey, have a different laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoy yourself differently.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
Carly C's.
I think you skipped one.
Oh, Brittany Sawyer. Unbelievable that Nate didn't ask Sandler what the double V names are about in his movies. I'll read that sentence. The folks need to know. Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I think that was more my worry.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Nate's
This is
worry.
Dusty's crusade.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm ever around him again, I'll do it. I was trying to pick his brain about other things and just career stuff, but I'll make sure I get this double V thing down.
I mean, Nate did ask Joe Rogan if Barry Sanders could dodge a bear.
I did that.
Yeah, so
So I did that. So
Yeah.
I'll get to the double V thing.
yeah.
Trying to get some pick a career advice. Right when I head out. By the way, I got a friend that doesn't believe in the moon. Why do you do double V's in the names? Just as you walk out, just go, dead gummit. I got a buddy that thinks Apollo 13 was fake. What's the double V thing?
He's dying to know.
He's dying to know. He's got a few ideas. He's on the top of a building right now. Carly C's. Breakfast and Dusty hyping up Miss Rachel is peak toddler dad.
Yeah, a lot of people that say after we talked about her on the podcast, now she's coming up in their feeds.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's what happens.
it's great. I watched 2 or 3 episodes this morning with my baby.
2 or 3 episodes.
Well,
They're
segments.
probably quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he couldn't let it go. So see how it ends. Jordan Dunn. If Aaron's standard for based on a true story movie, all right, hold on, let's get into this sentence. Different. I don't know what I'm doing with sentences. It's like I think if you put punctuation there,
So those quotation marks threw you off right there?
I get going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, if Aaron's standard for a based on his, I get it where I get my voice gets myself trapped.
Yeah.
Where it's like supposed to end and the sentence is like, we're in the regular sentence, dude. It's the middle of a sentence. If Aaron's standard for a based on a true story movie is exact historical accuracy, he may want to just avoid all movies based on true stories. This would result in him not getting to watch his beloved Sorkin films. Turns out Mark Zuckerberg and Billy Bean didn't give 5-minute monologues every time they spoke. What's my point? Remember the Titans is the best movie ever, and Rudy was offsides.
Man, I'm sorry. I
Going
struck a
after-
nerve,
yeah.
Jordan. I apologize. I definitely understand if you're making a movie based on something that really happened, you have to massage the story. You have to restructure it in a way to make it work for a movie. My point was that, remember the Titans, they changed things that are the whole movie's about. They changed necessary I can't figure out how to word this. But
Well, having the guy get hurt before the game instead of after, it seems unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, how would you word it
Actually,
if what you said was based on a true story? So give us the other example. Give us the movie example that's...
see, I would think that's one that I'm okay with them just fudging a little bit for the storyline. But the point
if the
about
whole point of the
resegregating-
movie is they're the only team with black and white players, and then you find out every team had black and white players. Well, that's
yeah.
what the movie's about.
Yeah.
So you've changed the facts in such a way that it's not
too
based on
much.
anything
Yeah.
factual.
Yeah.
It's
Anybody can make
there
up that
was
story.
Exactly. That was my point. And yeah, I mean, look, Social Network, Moneyball, they're not, we're not reading a transcript of real life, but they didn't change huge facts in the story. That's what I'm trying to say. And Rudy was probably offsides, but we had already won the game at that point anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the guy only got one play. I mean, let him have the play.
Yeah.
The guy's got a lot of issues, and when college is over, life's not going to get better for him, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I get it. Yeah. Rudy was... no one really cared about Rudy.
No.
That was the whole thing with Rudy, right? Like Joe Montana didn't like what we talked before. Like that's the thing with Rudy is like they're annoyed they made a movie about. They're like,
Well, it's funny because some form of Rudy happens at every college, every season.
yeah,
Like all the time.
Yeah.
It's not as original as a story as I'd like to
or
believe.
high school. Every year at the end of high school basketball or football, they'll
Yeah.
put in a kid who's been on the bench for 4 years,
Right.
the team manager, and sometimes they'll let him score.
Exactly.
And sometimes that might have been me. I'm not saying it was or I'm not saying it wasn't, but we didn't have video cameras back then.
Did that happen to you?
No.
Oh,
They're like, no. We're ahead, but don't risk it.
They tried to let me score. I still couldn't do it.
Put him
I
in.
kept missing.
They go. They let you walk out there and just ask for autographs.
The
go.
other teams rebounded it, giving the ball back to you,
Yeah.
keep missing it.
Yeah.
Kev F. Being a bald man myself, if I had hair like Dusty's, I would just stay up at night and brush it continuously while running my fingers through it.
Yeah, dude, that's a blast. I love doing that.
Yeah.
I love to just sit up late, brush it, smell it, feel it. I like to stand in front of a fan, let it flow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Danny Smith. I love how Nate summed up his AT&T Pro-Am experience with, "This was a dream come true, and out of all the things I've wanted to do, that was one of them." I feel like there's a merch opportunity with that quote. Keep up the great work, fellas. It was a dream come true. It's hard to say, it's funny. I was listening to Bert Kreischer's podcast with Louis C.K. and they were just talking about when Louis did Madison Square Garden, he said he would take the train there, the C train. He did it 8 times. He would just take the train there like he was going to work, because he was going to work, and he goes and does Madison Square Garden, and then he would get on the train and he would go home. And it wasn't in the moment, it was he's like, yeah, it's what I just went to work. And then he said he went to see Bob Seger. and he just went to go watch. And, you know, he thought in there, he's like, watching Bob Seger, he's like, it's crazy to think, like, me and him are probably the only two people in this room that have played this room.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he said he started crying. And, like he said, someone told him, his girlfriend or something at the time told him, because he was like, why am I crying? And he was like, maybe then he was able to, like, wrap around what he had done. You can't when you're in it. But then when you see someone else do it, you kind of go, man, I did, you know, or something. I don't know.
Right. So when I do the Pro-Am next year, you'll fully appreciate it.
That's what I said. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like when you're in it, when you're doing stuff, you like, it is hard to, I mean, I am aware of how appreciative and how lucky I am to do this, but it's also hard to completely wrap your head around that what's happening. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like just like every show. It's hard to wrap your head around that anybody is there and that would know you.
I don't see you crying about it.
Well,
though.
you're still in the moment too.
Yeah. I'm not. It's not. This is not about AT&T. I'm just. It's about everything.
Yeah.
I think even when I do Bridgestone, like it's going to be overwhelming, but I don't know if I'm going to handle it the way someone might think I should handle, because I don't know how to handle that situation. Like it's not the end. It's not like you go, I did it. It's over. It's like
that's right.
But I think it's. Yeah, you're going to have other times that's going to be like, golly, that's crazy. Like, be able to look back on it. I mean, I'm in it right now. I'm in it.
It's also a progression over time, too, right? Like, if you went and did an open mic and then the next day you're selling out Bridgestone, you would be like, wow, this is overwhelming. Like, you've been, like, building up, you know?
Yeah. It's almost, but everything is overwhelming so much that you can't let it be overwhelming, or I'm not going to be able to do the thing that I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So some of it is that you have to go, because it is overwhelming to think when I go walk around. I mean, I don't think I really am surprised that a single person would know who I am. I almost think the audiences when I go out are just kind of like, well, we just come to comedy shows. Like, you know, it feels like that. And it feels like you can go walk around, like, you know, in Baton Rouge, you're like, I think I could go walk around the lobby. Mm-hmm. And I don't think someone would notice. Like, I don't think it'd be weird. Because it doesn't make sense that it would be weird. I mean, I don't know why it would be. You know, you just think you're like, well, I'm just a dude. I'm just from Old Hickory, man. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, it's like, I'm just, you know.
Taking the train to work, essentially.
Yeah. Essentially, like, you know. You know, it is special, and I know it's special, and I'm aware of how special it is, and I am appreciative of it and all that stuff. But yeah, I think it is hard to wrap your head around everything.
It'd be like telling a professional athlete, "Can you believe you were just out there on the field playing that game?" And they're like, "Yeah, but I got another game next week. If I get too wrapped up in it, I ain't gonna be able to perform. It's a long season."
Yeah, which I'm not. I'm not going. I don't want Danny to think we're. I understand. That's what he said is very funny, because that's funny.
He also mentioned your callback on the door didn't make sense, but
did he?
No, I'm joking.
What callback?
Last week when we read the guy had the callback idea for you for the special.
I did it. Maybe since I did a callback about the door last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it like didn't go good, and then I just like got out of it. I'm not doing all. I did a callback to the old spirit. By the way, if you come to the shows, we did it all weekend. Hour, none of it's on the special.
Whoa.
All right.
So, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. None of it's on the special. It's hard. There's Antelope 720. Nate, as long as we were talking wardrobe, what shoes are you wearing for your special? Very nice. Rag and Bone Metro Runner.
There they are.
There they are.
Different color, but that's the...
Yeah. That color is good.
They were
too.
great. They look good on the stage, being reflected. Yeah, they were good. I'm not even a shoe guy, but they look good.
They look good. I wanted to mix it up this time and not do Nike. I actually like those. So, yeah, they were good shoes. Brandy Hobart. Nate's special is rated PG-13 due to his use of the words murder and dumb.
Wow.
How do I know this, you may ask? Am I a ratings expert? Do I have a secret in with Amazon? No. Nate's sister Abigail posted it on on the fan page. Have they had such a falling out after the new tattoo that he won't even speak to her? Yeah, I go. Abigail's trying to get in. She's having to get Brandy to comment for her. No, Abigail told me that. She told me that. She texted me that yesterday. Still won't talk to her. No, I talked to her.
Murder and dumb.
Murder and dumb. She just told me that, though. I didn't know. Yeah, murder, because I said murder and dumb. Dumb is crazy. Murder, you're like, okay. But dumb? Murder, I mean.
None of it makes sense to me.
What's dumb? Why can't you say dumb?
I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of, what are, like, ratings and standard. What are we doing?
Yeah, that takes it from G to PG-13, saying dumb.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Do you think stupid would be okay? Is our stupid more harsh?
I mean, I'm talking about me. You know? I say I'm
I
dumb.
wonder who you're calling dumb matters at all.
Yeah, wouldn't that matter?
Well, maybe dumb is like because dumb also means like mute, right? So maybe somehow it's
Like a medical.
It used
yeah.
to. Not, I mean,
Deaf and dumb. It still does in the right context.
I guess, but nobody says dumb. Think, oh, he's talking about that guy being a mute.
But you also don't know a lot of mute people.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of them.
No.
Yeah, they're hard to talk to.
Yeah.
Maybe because you call them dumb. Maybe that's why y'all don't get off to a great start.
Are you dumb? Are you dumb?
Joshua Crow. Nate referred to having too many choices being frustrating. This is known as the paradox of choice. It sounds like it's already made up, but sounds like Josh is making this up, and he's like, let's see if it works for me.
Yeah.
Businesses think that customers want more options, but it actually causes anxiety. I'm in the restaurant business, and two examples of this in my industry are Cookout's menu versus Five Guys menu. One is simple and enjoyable. The other causes panic attacks. So Five Guys has got to be the simple one, right?
For sure.
Because it's just like one patty, no patty. Yeah, it's true. It is. I get that.
We talked about this a little bit when you were gone because you watch a restaurant show where they,
Restaurant Impossible.
and Aaron said that the one thing they always do is simplify the menu
Yeah.
because it makes it better. Just focus on what you do well.
Yeah, I mean, even that, if you're making a million things, you're probably not making any of them that well.
Yeah. Well, it's like Cheesecake Factory is the only, I guess, kind of opposite of that, where theirs is so complicated. But it's like there, you're like, well, I can go there and do.
But yeah, and I mentioned that, I think, but Golden Corral, if you're doing steak and Mexican and Italian,
Yeah.
Well, the thing about that is like you don't at a Golden Corral you don't have to choose.
It's a buffet, right?
Yeah, you just put it on there.
Buffet, you want choices.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. But
The
none
more
of it's going to
choices,
be
the
good.
better.
if you go to a buffet and there's one vegetable, one meat, one starch, you're like, well, I could have just ordered
Yeah,
this.
buffets are they're never as good as any buffet. I've rarely found a buffet. Like salad bars are great buffets.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've rarely found a buffet that's like great because it's the food sitting out there.
Yeah.
Even when you go to Vegas, you go. There's some places in LA that have a hotel that's like very nice and they have a buffet and they have a lot of stuff and it's good, but it's all just a little like the food sits out there a little bit, you know?
I used to like a Chinese buffet.
Chinese buffet actually works.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Why is that any different than any other type
Because
of
Chinese
food?
food just sits out.
Yeah.
It's allowed to sit out.
Yeah, it is. It is allowed to sit out.
It just sits out. That's what it's about.
They just come by and mix it up once in a while.
Yeah, stir it up. That's
Yeah.
the cookout menu, by the way. I don't know if I'd get a panic attack from that, but it definitely is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but I know what I'm doing now, you know.
Yeah, I've never had cookout.
It's good. You get a tray, and then you pick like a main thing from the tray, and then you get two sides, and then you get a
I would
drink
love
with it.
man. I've been on my strict. We're trying to make because Red Rocks, like Red Rocks is like my after picture, and so
Oh, from the last time you were there.
yeah.
Okay.
Because when the last time I was there, I was pushing, I don't like to say I was 200. I was probably hit 200, but that was 200s. Now I'm down to like 174 again, but I went back up to 180. I went up, down. So now I'm on
You ballooned to 180, dude.
I would love to go to cookout.
I was 180 in
Just-
sixth grade.
Your shirt weighs 180 now. I don't know, joking. That'd be very funny. That's very mean, but it's very
heavy shirt.
That's a very funny idea. That someone goes, God, my shirt weighs that much. If someone said that, my pants weigh more than that. You go, what kind of pants you got on?
Sounds like a workout.
How much you think Andre the Giant's pants weighed?
9 pounds. Belt on?
Yeah.
Belt on, pushing 15 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like
pretty
jeans.
big,
I'm
yeah.
thinking like jeans.
Yeah.
Like a heavy material with a belt, wallet in, maybe 20.
You think he could wear jeans? Did they have Andre the Giant size jeans?
Well, he had some stuff made, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah.
are people, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, he had clothes on.
Yeah, I was going to say, he didn't wear.
Yeah, but even a big and tall shop, you're like, well, actually, we did not plan for this.
Well, I think he gives them a heads up. I'm a literal giant coming in. Maybe
Yeah.
have some stuff
Have
ready.
you
for
heard
me.
of me? They call me Andre the Giant.
Yeah, he's got pants on right there in that
Yeah,
top
but not
picture.
jeans.
Yeah, maybe he's not wearing jeans. He had to wear those pants because they had to make them.
You got like some
Sweatpants.
sweatpants there, and they're a little too short. They need
Yeah.
to be. Yeah, dude, he could figure it out. He's got
He has a
money.
suit.
You know, if you got money, you could have somebody.
Well, he
make
has
something
jeans
for him.
on over there with Arnold Schwarzenegger, doesn't he?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, look at that.
That's
Look
a fabric pant. That's not really a jean.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a jean
polyester.
color,
Yeah,
but
you're
it
right.
is. It's
It's crazy, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is huge, and like he's just, they're
Wow.
just so big. Dude.
Were they in a movie together? It looks like Conan.
I think that's Conan the Barbarian.
Can you imagine every day is just look how big you are?
Yeah. I mean, jeez.
It's never not that. You never walk in a room and just be like, is that cream?
That's Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain. So Wilt Chamberlain, at least like they got to sit there and just talk.
they can just talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
not being huge.
Yeah, well, Wilt Chamberlain's, I mean, looks as big as, they're the same height. And he's big, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I thought Andre was even bigger, but like Wilt Chamberlain's a big dude. Yeah. Super Scott Crawford. For the record, there is no dark side of the moon. There is the far side of the moon. However, there's a common misconception about the moon's backside I'd like to clarify.
Oh, I can't wait.
Here we go.
Super Scott.
The sun also shines on it. The first humans to view the backside of the moon were the crew of Apollo 8. Crew member James Lovell was also on Apollo 13. Hey, Bear.
James Lovell. That's who Tom Hanks played in the movie.
So they went around the moon.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, they orbited around it.
I bet.
They get pictures?
No, I
Camera
think
stopped
they were
working when they
going.
were up there.
Yeah.
Just
they were in a hurry, right?
couldn't get it real fast enough. That's too bad.
We have pictures of the other side of the moon. We do. Yeah.
Yeah, we did this last week.
time.
I was about
Golly,
to say, maybe
there are some though.
Maybe Pink Floyd kind of popularized the term "dark side of the moon."
to bury, like when you search for it
No, I wasn't saying
for
that. I'm just
SEO
saying
purposes.
we always say "dark side of the moon," but he's saying that's not even a real thing. Maybe that Pink Floyd album is
Maybe you
what.
should type in far side of the moon.
Do we talk about that's the theory that Disney did that with the movie Frozen? That they were trying to bury search results about Walt Disney's frozen head. So they
I've heard
named
that,
the movie
yeah.
Frozen.
Oh,
So
really?
if you Google Disney Frozen, all of that's pushed to the side.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's a conspiracy theory I like to bring to the table.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes that much sense to me, though.
What do you mean?
I don't think enough people are Googling his frozen head.
They were before.
Yeah, but not. I don't think that was.
What were they hoping to look up?
Because then you could just go Disney's frozen, Walt Disney's frozen head, and you'd be like, okay, now I'm back to exactly what I want.
You just add a head to it.
Yeah, you add head to it, your game's over.
Well, look. Yeah, but if you Google Disney Frozen, I mean, it's all the movie.
But I mean, I don't know if I would Google Disney Frozen if I was looking for his frozen head.
Try frozen head.
Disney frozen head.
Try Frozen Head, I'm sure.
No, Disney frozen head.
Yeah.
Because that's what you would do. I mean,
If you're listening,
we're
there it
back
is.
Yeah,
into
it's a
it.
bunch of stuff. You're right.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't say it's the best conspiracy theory in the
Yeah.
world. I just said
If the
fuck
movie
is
were
one?
called
There was
Frozen
somebody-
Head, then that would be.
That would be
Yeah.
Disney's frozen head
Yeah.
about a princess.
Yeah.
cryogenically frozen head. Yeah, that would bury it.
Yeah.
And he goes, that about Walt? Is his head frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the head? They didn't do the whole body?
I think the head was taken off the body.
Like
I think
Ted Williams.
This is what they don't want us to know.
Yeah.
So they named the movie Frozen. I think, look, they didn't create let's create a movie called Frozen to bury this stuff. But I think somebody in marketing was like, oh, that'll be nice. Call it Frozen. And knowing in the back of their head, it's a nice little ancillary
Walt
benefit.
would have wanted this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
All right.
I mean, I don't think I believe it either, but it's again funny that's the one conspiracy theory you guys won't get on board with.
I know.
Yeah.
Like the most basic one, too.
Well, that's crazy.
Aaron's being ridiculous. Bianca Huber. Hubert. I would like to confirm that Nate is Michael Scott. It's amazing how his character even speaks with a cadence like Nate. Their absurd humor also makes them so similar. In my continued observation, Brian is Aaron and sometimes Pam. Aaron is Oscar, who is a very underrated character.
All right. Thanks.
Dusty is a Jim and Dwight love child. We're having a good time.
All right.
There we go.
I like that.
It's nice.
I mean, I would argue that I'm probably Toby.
I would say Toby.
Yeah.
A lot of people have pointed that. They even did a little montage of Michael and Toby and then Nate with me.
Oh, really?
It's very similar.
That's
Like,
funny.
why are you the way you are?
Yeah.
So
I like Dwight. I like the Dwight character in the British Office, whatever his name is in that.
Gareth.
Yeah, it's great. Really good.
yeah, you would be Dwight. Some holidays you don't believe in, some you create.
Yeah, I've been trying to grow beets forever.
Yeah.
I can't get them to grow. But
It's hard.
yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about a little
Oh, okay.
AG1.
Well, we've been, our next partner is Athletic Greens. I think all of us are trying to take our AG1 by Athletic Greens every day. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted increased energy and immune system support, especially during the cold and flu season. I take AG1 in the morning before I start my day. It makes me feel like I'm doing something good to cover my nutritional bases. I like to keep those bases covered. It's much easier to mix the one scoop of powder in water once a day than to take a bunch of different things. It's the healthiest thing you can do in under a minute, and it costs less than $3 a day. I also get single-serving travel packs, so I never have to miss a day when I'm on the road. Every scoop has 75 vitamins, minerals. People don't talk enough about minerals. They talk about vitamins, but not minerals.
Right.
AG1 has a scoop of 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that have major benefits like gut and mood support. And if you have a leaky gut, you're going to want to support it. Boosted energy and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. I've already got a compliment on my hair today. AG1 has been part of millions of mornings since 2010. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/Nate. That's athleticgreens.com/Nate. Check it out.
All right. So this week,
Country music.
oh, there you go.
All right.
I got the country music voice.
Yeah, that's why I dress this way.
Yeah.
Now, who is Jesse Daniel?
Jesse Daniel's a country singer that I like a lot. Very, like a new country singer. He's great. Very good. From California country.
Okay.
And I met him. He came to play in Nashville. I met him. We hung out, took some pictures. It's great.
Now, you know country music pretty well.
Pretty well, yeah.
I'd say you and I are probably more mainstream country.
Yeah.
Kenny Chesney, that's a big one for you?
Yeah, I love Kenny Chesney.
Country just blew up in the early 90s, and that's when I was in college, and Garth Brooks played the Murphy Center at MTSU where I went to school, and I stood in line and got me and a bunch of my friends tickets. And
You'd go to any show. Did you go to everything at MTSU?
I was just always there.
Yeah, every single thing.
yeah, just sure, why not?
Yeah,
Sure, why
yeah.
not? I saw George Strait there a bunch.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, though. Garth Brooks,
Yeah.
George
No,
Strait.
I think you.
This is all at the early stage of their career.
Yeah.
This is before they're like famous.
No one knew who they were.
Yeah.
No, this is their height.
Garth Brooks is it their height? I mean, he's playing he's playing the basketball arena.
Well, that's true. Now he does giant stadiums.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's when he blew up. That's when
I don't think he would come to the Murphy Center.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's when he was blowing up, though. That's when Friends in Low Places and The Dance and all that had just come out.
And I'm saying you should go to this stuff, but I think you were probably a good friend. You just knew like this is in town. We got to go because a lot of people I think miss stuff.
Those examples, people were coming from all over to go. That was a big deal. But I would go to an MTSU basketball game where there was a couple thousand people in a giant arena.
You had plans every night.
I had a lot going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did comedy at MTSU. Had you been there, would you have come to that?
I'm sure I would have.
Yeah, if you go back and travel back into the future.
It's funny to think now there's
30-year difference. Yeah. Would you have gone? Would you have went to the world's first fair?
Yeah. How old were you in like 1992?
10 years old.
Were you doing comedy then?
Well, I was making people laugh, but, mainly getting in trouble.
The crazy thing, Nashville has so many venues now to see music, but then there was the Municipal Auditorium, which still exists downtown Nashville, and it's like a relic. They still do shows. But then MTSU's Murphy Center, people have to go to Murfreesboro to see a big show.
Really?
Because that's where the Judds did like their farewell tour, and there was no Bridgestone Arena.
I wouldn't mind doing a show at Municipal Auditorium.
Be fun.
Obviously Bridgestone is what I want to do, but then go do one for Municipal Auditorium, just because that was a big deal. That was the place. I don't know, how big is it? How many seats is Municipal Auditorium?
I think it's like 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah. I remember watching basketball. We had a Ronnie Bargatze coach. Adam Solomon played on it.
They still do like OVC basketball tournaments, and that's bigger than I realized.
9,700 in the round.
Wow.
Yeah, I might be able to do a weekend there next year.
Yeah.
But who were like your biggest country music? Were you into country music as a kid?
I was not at all.
Or have you ever been?
I got into it when I moved to Nashville because you just can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But growing up in Alabama, surprisingly,
Alabama likes country music?
and a lot of people in Alabama do, obviously, but it was just my family and my friends and like the guys I hang out with. Nobody listened to country. They thought it was lame.
Yeah.
They thought it was weird. And then Nashville, it's just everywhere. So I just embraced it. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm saying the 90s, it became like a cool thing. Like it wasn't just like everybody listened to it.
Yeah, I grew up on 90s country. And I love it.
I Googled the most best-selling albums of all time, and every chart would tell me something a little different. But according to Wikipedia, Shania Twain's Come On Over is the 7th greatest selling album of all time.
Was that Any Man of Mine?
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, I Feel Like a Woman, that song.
Probably.
Yeah. It was a great one.
Okay. Yeah. Huge.
She's one of the best-selling of any country artist.
Isn't she from Canada?
Yeah. Yeah, she had some real crossover appeal too, though, because she's like, she's country, but it's debatable. It's like pop country.
Well, let me ask you about this. Why are country music fans? They're the only fans that are defensive about their genre in a way that no other genre is. Because I feel like now it's almost genreless, the music. Everything's everything. It's like, who cares what's what? But you'll hear that from country fans all the time. Well, it's not real country. Well, it's this. You have to qualify it in a way. It's like, who cares?
Well, I just think there's some aspects you look for in country that you like, you appreciate, fiddle, steel guitar,
so
stuff
it's
like
about
that.
the instruments.
Well, yeah, there's stuff that makes it country, and now it's just like people with southern accents singing pop music a lot of times.
Okay.
Well, like folk music would probably be country. Like you count that as like more country in a way.
Yeah.
So like Americana?
Yeah, I don't know all the genres, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. There's just stuff I look for where I'm like, well, this is, it's country, but it's like, I feel like all music is like becoming like pop rap now. Like every genre is like that. Like rap is like pop rap. Pop has got a little rap.
Well, you're having AI probably write songs.
Yeah,
it's almost that's where you're going to see. That's where you're going to see it first, because you really could just write have AI write a song.
Yeah.
And then if you get the right person to sing it and you get beats behind it, and it's just enough that everybody's like, I like it, and then it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it loses any soul. Like there's not. It was like what's that guy's has the crazy voice? Like he talks like
Wolfman Jack.
No, it's like he did go on Letterman a lot. David Letterman,
Tom Waits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that guy's voice, right? He sings. It's crazy. Like
he's
it's
got a
crazy.
weird. Yeah,
it's not like it's this great voice.
Yeah, it's not good.
But it's like you're buying into what
his whole thing.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. But,
So like Old Town Road, a couple years ago, it was climbing the charts. Billboard's Hot Country Song got number 19th. They took it off the charts because they said this isn't real country.
Well, I think there's no reason why it shouldn't be considered real country now in the state that it's in. But yeah, I mean, I don't find it to be a country song by my standards, but by the standards that are being set, I don't know why it's not. Does that make sense?
Oh, you're saying if the song had come out in 1992, you're like, obviously this is not a country song. But because the genre has evolved to where it was in 2018.
Yeah, it should be.
It should be country.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. It's a very reasonable take.
That's what I think, yeah.
I think it spent more weeks at number one than maybe any song.
That song was everywhere when it came out.
I mean, they got it changed Lil Nas. They got a hold of him for sure.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, good night. That's
Yeah, it almost makes
Bless
you
his
not want a
heart.
hit song. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you want to go. He was not. I mean, they're like. I mean, you really do feel they got a hold of him. Because
It's wild now.
it's wild now.
So the birthplace of country music, actually not Nashville.
Yeah. Montgomery, Alabama.
No?
Memphis, Tennessee.
I actually mentioned this on our Tennessee episode, but it's not Memphis.
It's Tennessee, Johnson
Lebanon?
City.
No.
Like East Tennessee, I would think.
Bristol.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they say.
Well, they've got the Birthplace of Country Music Museum there.
Well, I could put up a museum.
Okay.
Just say what gives them the basis to
I think they did their first recording session in Bristol.
I always feel like country is like a mix of like blues and bluegrass.
Okay.
That's what I always think.
Okay.
And it started in Bristol.
Well, it started in Appalachian Mountains. It was called hillbilly music. And then after a while, they're like, let's maybe call it
They
country.
themselves were calling it hillbilly music?
I think everybody was.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just embraced it.
You're like, why? Well, hillbillies were singing.
Yeah, and then it kind of became more country. And then, in 1925, I act like I'm trying to remember all this. This insurance company, Nashville.
You went to your first show at MTSU.
Wasn't a university then. What was it called? Excuse me. The National Life and Accident Insurance Company bought a radio station to promote their, insurance, and they do live radio shows. And their motto was, "We shield millions." So they call their radio station WSM. And
Okay. Oh, and that's WSM. That's the Nashville radio station now.
It's still the radio
still the
station.
radio station.
Yeah.
And they did a show called WSM Barn Dance where they just played country music.
Yeah.
And then one night, right before it, they were doing opera. And when the guy came on for the Barn Dance show, he said, "You've been listening to opera, but now you're going to listen to some Grand Ole Opry." And it stuck. And then they changed the name of it to the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
Yeah. Why did he call it Opry? Just
Trying to be like, "You're
Funny.
opera, we're Opry."
Yeah.
I don't know, just kind of like slang, I guess.
yeah.
Country slang. And then the Grand Ole Opry kept growing. It was at the Belcourt Theater for a while here in Nashville. And then it kept outgrowing
done a
that.
show there.
Belcourt Theater.
We did it with
I think I've done
My
a thing
first
there too.
CMT
is
is at Belcourt.
That's right. But then we did one for Kenny with Kenny and his
Yeah.
friends. Then it moved to East Nashville for a while, and it kept getting bigger. Then
Can you imagine? We do one for Kenny and his friends. It is funny. Like this is people listen to this podcast all over the world, and they got it just in the middle of it. Be like, remember we did that show for Kenny and his friends? You're like, oh yeah, that's right, I remember that. And people were like, I don't even. Who is Kenny?
I thought you meant Kenny Chesney.
That's what I
No,
thought too.
it's our buddy Kenny.
Oh, okay.
And my buddy
that's-
Kenny, it's my buddy I grew up with. and it's so funny that it just made me I talk about it. I say these names all the time. I'm not saying because you said it.
Yeah.
It just hit me as you said it to be like, I mean, a lot of people listen to this podcast
Yeah, from like Finland.
that have no ties to any of it. He's like, remember we did that show with Kenny?
Yeah, I really just thought Kenny Chesney because you had already mentioned it.
Yeah. No.
I thought it was weird you're on a first name basis with him, honestly.
No.
Like, who were his friends?
Opposite of
Garth
Kenny
Brooks?
Chesney, Kenny Clayton. Yeah, I mean, it's just insane.
So Grand Ole Opry kept on outgrowing it. They moved it to the War Memorial Auditorium, which is still doing shows in Nashville. And then finally into the Ryman. They started charging people to get in because it kept getting bigger and bigger. And then it just kept growing.
That's crazy. I've done shows at a lot of those places. War Memorial, I did a show. Did a show at the Ryman. Did the Opry several times. That's great.
Yeah,
That's fun.
Yep.
you are
Elvis.
country music.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is as close as I'm going to get.
Yeah.
I may write a song one day. We'll see.
Can you sing?
I can't sing, but I may write one.
Yeah, I wrote a song
Did you? They get
with Walker Hayes.
Yeah, this was 4 years ago now. You
Yeah,
wrote this
we
song. Are
still
we ever
have
going to
it.
hear it?
I do have it. I don't know what.
You did a recording?
it didn't get
Yeah.
released.
No,
him singing or you?
him singing.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And he's become. I mean, he's
he's big.
become like a huge
Yeah.
star since
since
you've
the
done it.
Applebee's. Everybody thought it was the Applebee's song, and it wasn't. Trust me, you would have heard about
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, you've been
I had
talking
that on
about
here.
that.
So that during COVID, that TikTok video
Yeah.
blew up of Walker Hayes doing Fancy Like. And it became a huge. Do you know this song?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this Walker Hayes friend of the pod, Dusty.
Yeah.
No, that's the song you're talking about.
Yeah,
right? The
Fancy
Applebee's.
Like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It became a huge hit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I was at
It's not up
the
your alley.
I was at the ACMs and I saw him do that song in Vegas.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a fun song. I mean,
up
it's
your
not.
alley.
Yeah, it's not my kind of country, but it is a fun song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just a couple things. Elvis played the Opry, and they didn't like his dress, the way he was dressed. So they're like, "You're not a good fit for us." And the
He
way you
did
act.
do it though.
Yeah, as a teenager. And
It's in his house. Elvis's house.
Yeah, you mentioned you're in there.
Yeah, and that's all I said about it though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, let's get back to the news. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying you were in there.
Yeah, I ran. Yeah, but we could have talked about it. Elvis's house, but we'll get back to you.
Well, go ahead, tell us.
No. Did we?
He's like telling you, I ran there and I saw this.
I ran
suit.
there. I saw it.
Did you get to go in?
Yeah. Bought a ticket. It was 2 bedrooms. Not 2 bedrooms. His kitchen and a bedroom.
This is his childhood house?
Yeah.
Okay.
He lived there till he was 14 in Tupelo. And their homes it was just 2 rooms. So you had the bed in the bedroom, and then you had the kitchen. Like back then, because it was like they had to do so much stuff just to even operate a house back then. You had to get up and like, if you want anything, it's a lot of work.
You got to go get it.
You got to go, yeah.
Right.
If you want breakfast.
This is pre-fridge,
if you want-
probably, right?
They had a fridge in there. You'd have to put a big
Ice
thing of
box.
ice
Yeah.
in it. And then, probably
They would
change
deliver
it
ice every day, right?
I don't know if they delivered it or they brought it, but it's, you'd
The
have
Iceman.
Yeah.
Iceman
you'd
cometh.
have to go, you'd have to get it every day just to have this stuff work. But if you want anything, it's the most work.
Yeah.
The house
we
is
have
tiny.
it pretty good these days.
It's not even imaginable how, it's what they had to do.
I mean, even my dad growing up had to go to an outhouse.
Yeah.
It's like, that blows my mind.
Every time?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just go outside, but it's like, we have a bathroom in our house that I had to get the toilet fixed. And I was like, I got to go into the bedroom every time. You know what I mean? Like it's like, imagine having to go out back every time.
Sometimes I wish we should probably bring that back.
Well, you want to go pee outside.
No, let's just separate all of it.
Oh, have
from
the
the
bathroom
out-
outside.
Yeah. Just have it all out there.
Yeah.
That'd be better for everybody.
Yeah. That seems like a lot. Like, it's pretty obvious when it's like, All right, I'll see y'all in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't care about that, but I just like to
You
keep
hit the
every
garage, you go, you get in your car, drive over to the
drive to
your
the
bathroom,
outlet.
go to your bathroom house that you have built.
Growing up, I lived in a trailer with one bathroom, and my brother-in-law he was a bigger guy. He would go to the gas station if he needed to poop because he was like, that's gonna
It's gonna ruin the house.
he would just go to the gas
Yeah.
station.
I
Good
guess
for
that,
them.
right?
Yeah.
I've done that before.
That gas station, just like, oh my God. They're just like, here we, you hear their little, and then you just see him grab a paper and
Never buys anything.
never puts the paper back. Goes, all right, I'll see y'all in a couple hours. And again,
See y'all after dinner.
yeah.
And in Japan, don't they separate the bath from
Men
the
and women.
from the toilet for that reason?
Oh, they're in different rooms?
I thought so, because they feel like where you clean should not be where you poop.
It is odd to put them all in the same room when I
Yeah.
think about it. I've never thought about it until now. It's odd.
It is odd.
Why do you choose? Why do you put those? Why not put the oven in there too? You know?
Well, that's weird.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's too
saying.
far.
It's like two unrelated things
That's where we keep our plates.
in the back.
Not really. It's like where you go clean your. It's your taking care of your body in there.
Okay.
It's a body thing.
No, put a treadmill in there too. You know, for taking care. That's the taking care of your body.
You could. I mean, yeah.
But if you came over and I had a treadmill in the bathroom,
One's gross and one's not. What if you had a treadmill? I mean, I'll be honest. If you had a treadmill in the house, I'd be happy. All right. No, sorry. Hey, let's just get a treadmill.
yeah.
You know what? And if you put it in the bathroom, buddy, then
Okay, where you put it?
I don't worry, but let's just get it in the house.
Johnny Cash got drunk one night and performed at the Opry, and the mic wasn't working right, so he took the mic stand and busted out all the lights on stage.
Oh, that
There you go.
rules.
I've been there. You know what I mean? I've wanted to do that before.
He got banned.
With comedy, it's like you need
was
one
Johnny Cash?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did he get unbanned at some point?
Yeah.
Okay, because his picture's everywhere there.
yeah. Now they have a Johnny Cash room.
Yeah, he's like, well, the mic work. They're like, I don't know, it's the 40s. You know?
Yeah, like we have
And
a
you bust the
microphone.
lights, you're like, man, that's gonna $90,000. That's gonna cost. You know, like we barely have electricity at this point. But yeah, what a cool guy. You know, he had to be just mowing. That's all stuff that you like to hear in the rock star or this kind of like
Yes.
thing. But in the moment, you're like, dude, just some dude has to.
We're all dealing with the mic
Yeah.
situation
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
now we don't have lights.
Now we don't have lights.
And then he left. So then he left there when they said, "You're out of here." And he's like, well, "I'm just going to drink some more." And then he wrecked leaving there. And the cop that came and worked the scene was June Carter at the time's husband.
Oh.
And he already had a thing for June Carter, so his night just got worse.
Wow. He's driving back to He lived in Hendersonville, right? Johnny Cash?
I don't know if this time he was, but
Yeah, drove drunk back.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
wasn't even illegal back then, though.
No.
If you're Johnny
I think
Cash,
everybody was.
especially.
Yeah.
I think that cop probably had a couple pops.
Yeah.
He goes, I think everybody was a little like couple. You throw a couple back, and you go, all right, let's get out there.
Yeah.
Let's mix it up.
George Jones rode a lawnmower to buy beer.
Yeah, they arrested him.
Yeah, you know that story?
He got in jail. You don't know that story?
No.
Oh,
His wife took away all the car keys from him to go out and buy alcohol. So he saw the riding mower out in the yard, so he went and got it and rode.
like down the road.
Yeah.
And they pulled him over.
Yeah.
He was hammered, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know if that was just the music video that they pulled him over or
No, I thought in real
life.
life they pulled him over.
Maybe they did because you can't be riding a lawnmower on a main highway.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that story, Dusty?
I don't know that I ever heard that he got arrested or pulled over, but I did. I mean, yeah, it's very famous that George Jones would be riding the
I thought it
lawnmower.
was that he got pulled over.
And maybe he did.
Yeah.
But so many country songs reference George Jones riding a lawnmower.
Yeah. He was called No Show Jones for a while because
Yeah, the possum.
also that.
Wow.
They call him because he would not show up to shows.
Oh, really? Because he was just drunk?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's stories there's some story like Mike Judge has a Tales from the Tour Bus. I never watched it, but I saw a little clip on TikTok. I can never find it. I don't even know where you can get it. But he talked about how George Jones would like before a show. I guess he had like some kind of like anxiety, right? So he'd get real nervous. And so before the show, he would just disappear and then just leave town. And he said he would go sit in a hotel and drink and eat fried chicken. And like his manager would call him. He said this manager called him one time. He answered the hotel phone. He's like, I knew you'd find me. But yeah, so he used to just miss shows all the time.
I mean, it's crazy you could do that stuff and still just have a career. Like how hard it is to keep your career going. I feel like that's the lack of entertainment back then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying but it's like now you just have so much options that you can't treat an audience like that because they're like, okay, well, I'll just go to, I'll look at my phone. There's just a million things.
Right.
And back then was like, what are you going to do? Who are you going to go watch?
Yeah, who else are you going to go see?
And then it adds the allure of it a little bit, but you're like,
I think at one point, though, George Jones was not, none of the promoters wanted to book him because they were like, he may not show.
Yeah.
And we don't want to spend all this money.
It's not a bad concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had a few resurgences in his career. So then...
Is he still alive?
No.
Oh.
They just had a TV series about him, right?
Yeah, George and Tammy, I think. I have not watched it. Everything's on some weird streaming network that I don't have, so I don't watch anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish they'd just kind of bring it all together.
Put on CMT.
Yeah, exactly. CMT needs something.
They do.
CMT used to be my favorite channel in the world.
Yeah.
You watch Circle Network?
I do watch it a
Some
little
good
bit when
stuff
I
on
find it,
Circle.
yeah.
When do you find it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a lot of regular TV, but when I see it on, I do watch it.
When the clouds hit right, that antenna comes on.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, Mom, it's going to be a good big night tonight.
Yeah.
So the Ryman did not have air conditioning. So they're doing all these shows and just in the heat.
Whoa.
And by the late 60s, the Ryman was kind of getting run down. And the Opry's so big that there's still not enough space. What the Ryman holds like 2,300, I think. So they were like, let's build a bigger, more modern and downtown Nashville then was pretty run down and just a lot of not what it is today for sure. So like, let's go out to find some land out of downtown Nashville, build us a new Grand Ole Opry house, bigger, more modern. And then the president of the Grand Ole Opry was in Houston, and he went to the Astrodome. And I guess there they have Astro World, where they got a bunch of other stuff going on too. So he's like, let's do more than just the Grand Ole Opry house. Let's build a theme park year round. So that's where they came up with the idea for Opryland.
Yeah.
So
I want
Opryland-
Opryland back.
Opryland and the Grand Ole Opry House both opened in the early 70s.
I came to Opryland one time when I was a kid. I loved it.
Yeah.
I want to make it.
Yeah.
I hate that they got rid of it.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Well, this is, we've talked about before, the ultimate vision. This podcast keeps growing is to reopen Opryland, but call
Nateland.
it Nateland theme
Oh,
park.
I love it. I love it.
I have
I can have my own conspiracy theme ride.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, I want to make an Nateland theme park.
I could do a trip to the moon.
Yeah.
I'm planning rides
Quotation
in
marks
your
around the
park.
moon.
Yeah. I'm planning rides in your park.
Yeah.
Well, we all did, but
Yeah.
that would be a good one. The president, Richard Nixon, came opening night and played piano on stage.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good
Pretty
for
big
him.
deal. And then they took a circle from the Ryman and put it over on Grand Ole Opry stage. And now performers stand in front of that circle. Or in that circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the actual.
The Circle Network. That's
Yeah.
why they call it that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Because if you're at the Grand Opry, you're standing on the. Yeah.
And they say you can only step in the circle if you're performing there, but I don't know if that's true. Is that true? You can only step
I
in.
don't know, but I do feel like there is something that, because when you do your first time at the Opry, they'll kind of walk you out there and let you stand in it. And I got to do my first time, a thing that the Opry does. When I did the Opry for the first time, and they film you standing in the circle, you talk about it. I mean, it's a big deal. I don't really get into that stuff too much, but it is a big deal. I came to the Opry when I was a kid. I don't remember who I saw, but I was so little, but it's like, it's fun to like be an audience member as a kid and then later not even be a country singer and get to do the
You found
Opry.
a way to get up there
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah, that's cool. But didn't you sing your first time there? You came back and sang.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, they were doing something at the end. They've never done that again. But they all came out and like held hands and sang. I forget what the song was.
May the circle be unbroken.
May the circle be unbroken. Yeah. And I just was like, well, I want to go out there too. So I just walked out and started joining in. Because it was like every performer. I don't know if anyone invited me, but I was like, I performed tonight. I'd like to say.
Did they introduce you, or they didn't say like Dusty say?
Not when I came out with them to sing.
Yeah. Did they introduce everybody else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to
Dusty just
sing on the
walked out
Opry too. Yeah. I forgot about that. That's great.
Yeah, wasn't Lauren Elena and John Christ and some other people there?
Maybe they had been there before when I was there. I don't know if they were there that night. But
I was
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Did you go out there too?
No, I left after Dusty went up, I think.
I'm glad it meant so much that you forgot about it.
Yeah. Well, I forgot about the singing. I mean, 'cause, my dad came and my dad's buddy, and they had, metal detectors, and Aaron had a knife. He had to go back to the car. I had a knife. I had to go back to the car. My dad had a knife. My dad's buddy had 2 knives.
Wow.
I mean,
And no one was like giving a little heads up.
no, we had
In
no
y'all's
idea.
group, no one texted to go, yo, they're not letting knives in.
No one knew. We're all from Alabama, all bringing knives in. I had no idea.
When you did the Grand Ole Opry house last year, I happened to be walking in with your dad, and when he goes through a metal detector,
Yeah.
it's like the Matrix. Like
yeah.
they call in security,
Yeah.
because he's got the fake hip
Knees,
or
the knees, and yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
think
just got a
balls,
bunch
knees.
going on.
Yeah, a lot.
Wow.
There's a lot in there.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
So that's just a problem everywhere, like airports. Everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, you see, like, a lot of the older men, but they'd be younger anyway.
Yeah.
They have to just wave them. They just know before you get going.
Yeah.
We're going to be, it's going to be kind of bouncing around over here. Yeah.
Do you know the country singer Dottie West?
Yeah, I know a little bit about Dottie West. Somebody's going to give you a lesson in leaving. Somebody's going to give you a lesson in leaving. Somebody.
She did that song?
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
that song was remade recently. Dottie West is an older.
Yeah, Dottie West did that song.
Okay. Well, she's from McMinnville.
Yeah.
So
It's Dottie West Highway leading out there.
you might replace it someday, right? With
Yeah.
Dusty Slay.
Well, I don't know. I like Dottie West. I don't know if I'd like to replace it, but
Well,
Dottie and Dusty maybe.
Maybe a ramp.
Yeah.
Get a ramp.
Yeah, maybe I get a ramp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleigh ramp.
Yeah.
she was on her way to the Opry and her car broke down. And I always got to throw some bad news in here. And her neighbor saw her, and he was an older gentleman. And he said, I'll give you a ride. 81 years old. I'll give you a ride to the Opry. And she said, well, floor it because I'm running late. And on the way there off the Briley Parkway, the ramp there off Briley Parkway, he was going 55 miles an hour and lost control and wrecked. And at first they didn't think she was hurt. So she said, just treat him. I think he's worse shape than I am. But she had some internal injuries they didn't know about. And like 3 days later, she died.
Wow.
The ramp at Bradley Parkway is just, it's always difficult.
There's 2 crosses out there for Dottie West, too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there's 2 different spots. So I don't know what's going on there, but
I don't know.
I saw it the other day. There's 2 Dottie West crosses out there. Not even really that close.
You talk about Dottie West a lot.
Well, me and Hannah likes Dottie West. We do talk about her a bit. Yeah. I knew that she died there. And I know Dottie West Highway going out to McMinnville. And me and Hannah always sing that song. Somebody's gonna give you a lesson in leaving some. You know the song?
I don't know.
I do, but I know the remake. You're like a cold-hearted man or something
Yeah.
like that? I thought that was like Minnie
that was
McCready or
Jody
something.
Messina.
Jody Messina, yeah.
Covered it in 1999.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How about that?
Jody Messina. Jody Messina seems to pop up all the time.
I did the Opry with her recently. She
yeah?
was so cool. She took pictures with everybody. She was hanging out backstage. Heads to Carolina, tails California.
Yeah.
She's got some hits, man.
I'm doing all right.
Yes, that's the other one.
It should, 4
all right.
names.
Yeah.
Jody.
Marie Messina.
Messina. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
They just go by Jody Messina. It is a lot. That's a lot. We have 4. Yeah.
Well, on our way here, I'm assuming we all came our normal way here. We passed the WSM radio tower. When it was built, it was the tallest structure in the United States.
Really?
Wow.
And second in the world just to the Eiffel Tower. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. That's how big the Eiffel Tower is, basically. Eiffel Tower is probably a little bigger.
Yeah. It was it's 808 feet now. It was 878 feet when it was constructed.
How did it lose feet?
They took off some of the top on purpose. They gave it to the
Scoliosis.
They gave it to Lipscomb.
Osteoporosis. It's starting to.
They said they gave it to Lipscomb Elementary, which is across the street there, and they use it as a flagpole.
Oh.
But they took it off. It said so radio coverage could reach Chattanooga. Apparently, it was too high and it was going over Chattanooga, so they wanted to reach it. But it was a clear channel, whatever that means, and it could reach 40 states.
Wow.
Just a radio broadcast. So that's how the Opry became so big, because they could reach so many people.
Wow.
Still pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten gigs, corporate gigs off people hearing me on the Opry in another state.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the Opry's great.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
still
doing the
going,
Opry.
I guess. Still
Yeah.
like really that strong of a, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they air it on Sirius XM too. So I've done the show. It's a little delayed. So I've done the show, got in my car, drove home, put it on the Opry on satellite radio, and heard myself again.
Oh, that's fun.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Nashville got the name Music City a couple ways. In 1871, Fisk University was about to close. They had financial issues, and the Fisk Jubilee Singers started touring the world performing to raise money for the school. And the Queen of England, Queen Victoria, said, "You guys must come from a city of music." And that was the first time that had ever been said. And then it started... WSM later did a radio show called Music City, and then Johnny Cash had a TV show on ABC, a weekly TV show, and they would start saying, "Coming to you live from Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee," and that's how the name Music City kind of became a thing.
I thought it was like but I thought too. I heard that a big reason a lot of the bands went here because we were so centrally located for touring. It was that's why like buses are all out of here, and that's a big part of it.
That's why I moved to Nashville to do comedy.
Yeah, it's just like that's why if you want a tour bus, they're all here because it's just the easiest to the most touring.
The markets nearby, or
yeah. You can go do you're very like you can get up to Chicago quick, you can get up to wherever. Mm-hmm.
But they wouldn't allow, the Opry wouldn't allow long-haired country boys to perform. You had to cut your hair, and people complained about it. So outlaw country kind of started because they also wanted a certain sound. You had to use Nashville recording artists.
That's what they were rebelling against, was a haircut guideline?
That was part of it. It was more of the country sound. They wanted to use their own artists and do their own styles, and Nashville said, no, you got to use these particular artists, these musicians, and they's like, I want to do my own thing, and they want to record in Austin, different places. So the outlaw movement.
Well, country music was like probably a little more, buttoned up and like that kind of stuff. And then you have like Dusty's come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see like old school Willie and Waylon and all. They're all clean cut, real clean cut guys back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
And you would have been Lil Nas X back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You would have been,
I don't know if I'd have been that extreme, but yeah.
People would have been like, this guy's not real country. You know?
You'd have been the Sam Smith of that generation.
Yeah, I got my inflatable outfit in the car. But that's why, Charlie Daniels has that long-haired country boy song that I really like. It's long-haired country boy is probably my favorite. It's a great song.
Of any song?
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot that I like. It's hard to narrow one down, but that one I think is my favorite. Long-haired country boy, Charlie Daniels.
But you seem like outlaw movement would have been your guys.
Yeah, I love all that stuff.
Willie and Waylon and guys.
Yeah.
Country music.
Johnny Paycheck, really great.
I'll take this job and shove it.
Yeah, but he does that "Don't Take Her, She's All I Got" song, which it was covered in the '90s too. Right. But it's his song. It's great. In New Orleans, I found a bunch of people that knew that song, and we just stood outside and we all just sang that song. It was, I don't know how it happened. I think they were drunk, but I just love country.
We walk around asking people if they know this song.
We started talking about Johnny Paycheck, and then somebody started singing it, and we just all joined in.
Yeah.
It was great.
Wow.
I feel like in rap music, there's a lot of people that die from being shot. And in rock music, a lot of people die from drug overdoses. Country, I feel like, has a lot of plane crashes. A lot of
alcoholics in country.
I'm sure that's true too.
Who are the plane crash deaths? I can only think of
Patsy Cline.
Okay.
John Denver.
Okay, those are big ones.
Jim Reeves, who was huge at the time.
Yeah.
Troy
Aikman.
No, was it
All of
Montgomery
our-
Gentry? One of those guys died just recently in a helicopter crash.
Oh, I didn't know that's
right.
how he died.
Yeah.
Jim Reeves, do you know him, Dusty?
I know that name.
He was huge in country back in the day. There's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, boy.
He knew Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby. He knew them both.
Oh, wow.
And he died not long after the kidney assassination.
Wow.
Now, he was flying his own plane. There was bad weather. He lived in Brentwood. He crashed in Brentwood.
They probably got him.
But I wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, they probably got him. I'll check it out.
I guess Jack Ruby owned a restaurant or something, a social gathering, and he knew Lee Harvey Oswald, and Jim Reeves performed there.
He's named Gentleman Jim. That was his nickname.
Yeah.
That's a fun nickname. Gentleman Jim.
Yeah, I mean, some of the country, when it gets too old, it is not a lot of fun to listen to for me. If it's
Right.
too old, like if it, 60s is maybe the cutoff. Once you get to 50s, the recording equipment's not as good, and it's just hard to listen to. But there are some gems. Hank Williams, who's the guy? I can't think of. There's a David Allan Coe's son, Tyler Mahan Coe, does a podcast where he talks about a lot of the old country. And he really digs into the stories, and it's really great.
Yeah.
The country music has a lot of royalty. They like to get a lot of titles. So, you know who's considered the king of country music?
I would think George Jones.
No.
Morgan Wallen.
Now, this has changed a few times over the
Yeah.
years, but this is
The King, Garth Brooks.
that's a good guess. George Strait.
George Strait.
The
Makes
King.
sense.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
them
yeah,
say
the
that.
King.
Yeah,
Yeah,
George
the
Strait.
King.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's good.
The Queen's a little bit tougher.
George.
George is the best. George Strait is really great. All right,
Reba
the Queen of
McEntire.
country.
Dolly Parton.
Patsy Cline.
I would think Dolly Parton. I mean, the way they.
I mean, some people call it, but Kitty Wells.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, they might need to update that.
Yeah, maybe.
We might need to overthrow that.
Tammy Wynette's the first lady of country music. Jimmy Rogers, the father of country
His
music.
title still makes sense. So she's the first lady. So she's the wife of the
She married to
of
George
the
Strait.
president. Who's the president of?
Well, George Jones says she married, but I don't know. It's meant to be. Here's one I don't even know. Do you know Nikki Lane?
No,
She's known as the first lady of outlaw country.
I don't think so.
Do you know Colt Ford?
I do know Colt Ford.
Is he like the king of
Well,
country
Colt
rap?
Ford, I like.
Or
but-
hip hop?
Yeah, I like Colt Ford, at least the old stuff he had, but he started a movement that I'm not a big fan of.
What's
yeah,
that?
hip hop, as they say it. There's a girl that's really gone viral, and I hate to make fun of her because everyone's piled on her. I don't remember her name, but it is bad. The thing,
I think I saw it.
yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Did you? I
That
mean,
was all right.
I hope she has success and I hope she makes money. I don't want to hate on her, but I'm not into it. But as I was on TikTok, I saw other country girls like doing the lip syncing to it. So it's like, it's got an audience. There's country girls
Yeah.
out there that are like, oh, I love this. And it's kind of fun to have like a outlaw country woman. I mean, Gretchen Wilson's long gone from the country scene. So.
She's the real deal, though.
Yeah.
Gretchen Wilson's she's the real deal.
Yeah.
Like that's everything she says.
Yeah.
I'm a redneck. You're like she is. And if you and I've never met her, but I've seen her out. Like it's something great about just being like her, where you're like, oh, she's all of that.
The most
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
And Trace Adkins, I've hung out with Trace Adkins a little bit. He's really great, really tall guy. And he told me that he's told this story since then, but he told me I was supposed to open for him and then it stormed, so they wouldn't let us perform. So we sat on his tour bus and he told me that one of his wives shot him with a pistol in the side and it went through both of his lungs, I think through his heart. I think he almost died. And yeah, he had some serious. I think he's been married a few times, and that was one of his ex-wives.
Wow.
He's telling me that as he's smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, wow, all right, so you have recovered.
You lived,
Yeah, but
he's lived the life.
Yeah, he has. He's
Wow.
great. I like him a lot.
Yeah. That's fun.
Some buddies of mine from Lebanon got into a road rage incident with Tracy Lawrence back when he was at the peak of his career.
Tracy Lawrence.
Tracy Lawrence, Time Marches On is one of the best.
Do you know Tracy Lawrence?
No, I was thinking Fast Car, but that's Tracy Chapman.
Yeah.
What do they do?
Okay.
I don't know what the true story is, but they somehow got into an altercation going on I-40, and Tracy Lawrence pulled out a gun and fired a shot.
Oh, wow.
I love it. I love it.
Tracy Lawrence got robbed. He was walking a girl back to her hotel room, and some guys robbed them and I think shot him.
Wow. I like Tracy Lawrence a lot. I heard a couple of things about him back in the day, but he had a lot of Paint Me a Birmingham, Texas Tornado, great stuff.
What'd you hear stories about him?
I don't know. I think just him being an alcoholic and just having some stuff going on. Yeah. And I can't verify, so I don't want to say it, but I.
There it is. It's in the thing.
What's it say?
Someone's reported. So it says that he was charged with possession, reckless endangerment, possession of unlicensed firearm after confronting and following home 2 teenagers on a highway in Wilson County, Tennessee, in April of '94. So that's your friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah. So that was it. So they reported it. True. I'd imagine your friends would have called and reported it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this was your friends?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. They said he fired a shot. Does that, or did that say he just pulled a gun on him?
Well, it says reckless endangerment in possession of it, so I'm sure he might have fired a shot. But I mean, I would imagine,
Well, this is what I'm talking about with real country.
Yeah.
I mean, people out here shooting and.
What were your friends doing?
I don't know. They may have started. They may have cut him off, or who knows. I mean, they didn't know who he was at the time. They're just driving home from downtown Nashville to Lebanon, and there's some guy in a pickup truck, and they were being dumb. He was being dumb, but he just happened to be a huge country singer.
Wow.
Colt Ford was pretty back. Just back to that. I mean, he was pretty fun for the time because there was no country rapper, So it was a pretty fun. I mean, Bubba Sparks was the closest we had.
I don't know. Jelly Roll's the big one
Colt
now,
Ford?
right?
Yeah, I did. One of the first few times I did the Opry, Colt Ford was on it, and they presented him with some sort of award for how many albums he'd sold or something. He's still active. Yeah, still writing a bunch. Dirt Road Anthem, that was such a huge song at the time. Remember that?
He did one with
Jason
was that with John?
Aldean?
Oh, okay. He did one with John Michael Montgomery.
Yeah.
Okay. How about it? He was a professional golfer. Colt Ford was.
He was.
Oh yes, I've played with him. So now this all makes sense.
You thought it was Larry the Cable Guy, but
he's a great golfer. I golfed with him at Legends. He's an unreal golfer. Yeah, he's a professional golfer. I know. I remember the day. Now I remember it. I didn't remember it at the time. All right. Yeah. I might have his number, actually. It's not like he might be here.
I think we're buds, yeah.
Garth Brooks is by far the most best-selling country artist of all time. Almost doubles the next one, George Strait.
Garth Brooks still has no songs on streaming services. You can't find him on Spotify. He's not on YouTube.
Why is that?
I don't know. That's just what he does. You have to buy it.
Yeah. I think he doesn't like them, or like they don't pay and they don't, whatever reason.
Yeah, and I heard someone saying that they think he's missing out on the next generation because everybody just streams now. But I'm sure if he's the most selling of all time, he could care less.
I mean, he sold out. He toured and sold out, whatever. You know. I'm sure when it's, they're not. I thought about it with Elvis this week because we were saying, like, look at, like, with Elvis, like, we were looking at his, like, who are you going to see their house?
Residents. And that's about it.
Yeah. I couldn't think of someone that I'm like, who am I going to go see where they were born?
Right.
And so then Elvis, like with Elvis, he's making so much money that are at like their thing.
The estate.
The estate is. And then they just made the movie Elvis. So you're like, there's another 40 years.
Yeah.
Because the movie's a big movie. And it's like, if there's any dwindling of maybe like people are getting old and they're kind of forgetting about Elvis, the movie comes out 40 years now. Now 20, anybody that's 20 and when they saw that movie, they know what Elvis is, and you got them till they're 60, and all you got to do is come up with this.
Yeah, so this shouldn't Garth Brooks. He has all the money in the world. He has all the status, whatever. You don't think at a certain point you're just like, well, let's think about legacy.
His legacy is there, though. And if his legacy is not giving into that, I mean, he doesn't need it.
But if there's a whole generation of people with no access to his music at all.
They do have it. I mean, other countries, like I know in Ireland, all that. These guys are such big country fans that like it's just you're not going to get. He's bigger than.
It is hard.
Everybody.
Like, you know, I got a big country music playlist that I put together on Spotify, but I can never add any of my fun Garth Brooks songs. You know, so I mean, it's a
What
big
do you
loss
think
for me.
Garth Brooks' signature song is?
I think
got
Friends in Low Places.
Yeah.
More than the dance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know the dance. And I'd listen to it on the way home, but it's not on Spotify.
You don't know the dance?
No, I mean, I probably recognize. I don't know it by the title like the other one.
I know probably every Garth Brooks song, but yeah, Friends in Low Places is probably the most. You know,
That's
Mark
like-
Chestnut cut that song first, and it did not take off for him.
Yeah, I've never heard of Mark Chestnut. That's probably why.
Yeah.
But Mark Chestnut had a bunch of hits too. But but he
Bubba Shut the Jukebox?
yeah, but he covered that first, and it did not take off.
What about Leonard Skinner? What is their signature song?
Well, Sweet Home Alabama.
More than Freebird?
I would think so. I mean, Freebird, everybody yells out Freebird, but everybody knows Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
I think Simple Man should be the big one. I mean,
Tuesday's Gone's probably my favorite.
Simple Man's incredible, but yeah, Tuesday Gone is
But
great.
I hear Sweet Home Alabama outside of Alabama more than I ever did in Alabama.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Indiana, it's like I remember driving through Indiana, it's played everywhere. You're like,
Yeah.
"Wow, yeah.
As soon as you hear that very opening,
Brink, brink."
people just get
that
excited.
note. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
Leonard
great
Skinner
song.
has, you know, a lot of people seem to not believe that or not know that they died in a plane crash, most of them, the lead singer at least. But they have 6 albums before that, all incredible, all great. Anything that happened after that, I don't know.
Reba McEntire's band, there's another one, died in a plane
In a
crash.
plane crash?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a lot.
A lot of plane crashes.
Yeah.
But Leonard
Jim
Skinner,
Croce.
Southern Rock.
What they were doing back, Leonard Skinner like had their plane was like should have been checked on.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, that's what I watched the documentary. Like it was
okay.
like they were like going to take this last flight,
Yeah.
and then get the plane checked on.
Yeah.
Okay, it was
I
due
saw that
for
too.
maintenance.
Yeah, they're like I mean this stuff they're flying back then. Like I mean you know, it's very much like you know they're just like let's go, we're party, you know, whatever.
Yeah. So Garth's by far the best selling. George Strait's had the most number ones. Alabama's the biggest country band. Dixie Chicks.
My Home's in Alabama by Alabama is so good.
Yeah, this is a great song.
Yeah, Alabama's a really great band that, you know, I love them. Old Flame, I opened for them in Iowa one time, and it was great. And then they talked about the song Old Flame, and they talked about, you know, kind of like how that one David Allan Coe song they say is the greatest country song ever written.
Yeah.
They said that about Old Flame, and I think it may be. I think it's really, really great. It's up there.
Is the greatest country song ever?
Yeah, it's up there.
So Taylor Swift's not on this list, I'm guessing.
Maybe they don't consider her.
At a certain point, they stopped
Yeah.
counting her.
Yeah. Shania
Yeah.
Twain's the best selling female artist.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I think Taylor Swift was like best selling artist maybe ever, right? Or one of
Up
them.
there,
Up
for
there,
sure. That's
yeah.
why I was.
But she left country long
She
ago.
left country, yeah, but I was even if you only include those.
Oh, yeah.
I was
I think the
wondering.
best selling album of all time of any music in the United States is the Eagles' Greatest Hits.
Eagles' greatest hits.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, not the Eagles.
You're not the Eagles. Yeah.
Eagles' Greatest Hits. But worldwide, it's still Thriller
Okay.
because Michael Jackson's so big in other countries too.
Yeah, I mean he's another one. You go see his house.
Yeah.
Would you go see his house? He's from
Gary,
Gary.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many artists can you name their childhood home? I can name his. And I can name Tupelo.
Yeah, I know his because it was a house of horrors, wasn't it? I mean, he had like a
Sure was
horrific
bad.
childhood.
Yeah.
But
In Gary. So
don't
you
know
can't even
anybody
like go outside and cheer up.
Yeah.
You're just
You go to
living-
Michael Jackson's house, they're like, there you go. Yeah. Like Elvis is like, there's a proper like, and they might have a proper thing. But they have the church he went to.
I mean, we all know that probably Dolly Parton's from, Sevierville,
Sevierville, yeah.
and she's got Dollywood, but I don't know if there's anything for her childhood home or not. Mm-hmm. And
Well, I think you would go to Dollywood. Like that would be.
Yeah, and maybe if you grew up, a certain poor, I mean, the house is gone.
yeah,
Well, Elvis, they said they didn't buy the house to keep it, but when he went back and did a thing there before he was super famous, but he was like, he went back there and played. He bought the house because he was going to do something for like kids and, like make it something and the land around it. And then But he figured they were going to knock the house down because it's old and just build something else on it. And they did it. And then he got super famous. And then they were like smart enough to like, let's keep it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, like let's say I got to Elvis fame, right? You know, I mean, we all know that's on the way. But, you know, my childhood home is a trailer and it's already gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's gone. I don't mean to bring the podcast down here.
Yeah.
Tornado.
I don't know. It's just gone. It could be a tornado.
Yeah.
But the ditch is still there. You can go.
Yeah, well, I
Dusty
mean,
Slay's childhood ditch.
Yeah.
Let's put a sign out there.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Here's
there's,
Michael
trailer
Jackson's
park.
home, by the way.
Oh, they do have
There are
some.
9 kids in that little house.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they've done a lot more to the yard because it's a pretty nice yard.
Yeah.
yeah, it looks good.
Well manicured.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's a good place to stop.
All right.
We did it.
That's good.
We
Yeah.
tackled
This was fun.
country.
We did it.
I love
Tackled
country music. This was
yeah,
fun.
we tackled it. All right. I'm about to head to Corden. I'll be somewhere. I don't know.
All over.
Or I'll go to Joe's special. I'm coming to Europe, Oslo. All that stuff's coming. A lot of stuff in March, April, and we got more dates. More stuff's coming. We're announcing more
Look at
stuff.
this. London, Dublin, Oslo, Brussels, Amsterdam.
Yeah. So a lot more stuff coming, and we will keep announcing.
This weekend, I will be at Blue Ridge Comedy Club in Bristol, Tennessee.
Birthplace of country music.
Birthplace of country music. Maybe I'll go to that museum.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I'll be there Friday,
See
Saturday.
if Aaron can set one up.
Yeah. Blue Ridge Comedy Club this Friday, Saturday in Bristol. Please come see me.
Your Bridgestone's officially sold out, Nate?
It's sold out on that. I believe it's, yeah. I was going to, yeah. I don't know if
sorry.
we have not made a big announcement about it yet,
sorry.
but it's, yeah. I think it's sold out.
That's amazing.
Click it and see.
Yeah.
It's,
I think you can still get single seats.
not much. Like, can you zoom in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
look,
get
you can
that one.
zoom
We'll
around.
save that for Brian's fans.
Yeah, you can zoom around. Like, you can't go out too far. It's going to, it's like that.
Look at that,
Wow.
dude.
That's what's left. So
Wow.
it's wild, dude. It's insane.
A lot of people for that show have asked me, is there going to be a meet and greet? And yes, there is. Meet me in Concourse H,
Yeah.
and I'm going to take you down.
Yeah.
Bring $20 cash. Don't look at Nate. Just stand over on my corner. But yes, I will give you a meet and greet.
No, there will not. That's going to be a bit of a zoo. Being at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just like those single tickets left. So it's, essentially it is sold
It's
out.
exciting, man.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's
crazy.
wild. It's like 16,000 some people.
Golly.
What about you, Aaron? Where are you at?
This weekend, I'm in West Bend, Wisconsin, at the Bend Theater. So I think it's like an hour outside of Milwaukee. If you're in the Wisconsin greater area, come out and see me. Then I'm in Lowell, Arkansas next weekend at the Grove, and then Nashville, Zanies, and St. Louis. So come on out.
All right. I'm at Portland, Oregon, Helium this weekend, and then Corvallis, Oregon, at a theater there. So it's going to be great. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Portland, Sunday, Corvallis. It's going to be great.
All right.
Boom.
All right. Well, thank you. We love you. Have a great week. We will see you next week. Bye. Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.